Rookie minicamp underway in Allen Park, and we got a special guest.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's happening, everybody? Matt Derry with you. It is a Friday edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day on a Friday, May 10th, and the weekend, Saturday, May 11th, and Sunday, May 12th. Happy Mother's Day this coming Sunday to all you moms out there. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Follow me on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter, Matt Derry Facebook fan page. And thank you to those of you that watch and check us out for free each and every day in our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Got to give some shout outs to some everydayers that are out there. Andrew Addy, who I believe is out in California. Andrew is a big listener. He met Turner Batdorf, one of our P1s and one of our everydayers. And Turner let me know that Andrew is out there watching. So we appreciate you guys, and happy 30th birthday to the legendary Turner Batdorf. There is not a more passionate, more loud, more crazy Lions fan than my guy, TB down in Houston. So happy 30th to our man, Turner Batdorf. Coming up on the show today, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Peter Bukowski, host of Locked On Packers, will join us on the show. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, Matt, he's a jerk. He's out of control. Peter is on social media, mostly Twitter, killing the Lions, saying the Packers have a better roster. We're going to get to the bottom of this because Peter is wrong, and we will do that momentarily here on the program. Thanks for checking us out again wherever you get your podcasts here on a Friday edition. If you missed Bradford Banta from yesterday, he was awesome. Had the former Lion long snapper, tight end, special teams assistant coach. Bradford was on yesterday. We got had Andrew Siciliano on earlier this week. Check all of that back out right here on Locked On Lions. And don't forget Jake Riepma, Locked On Detroit Sports. Go to it. Subscribe to it on YouTube. You get all the postcast and everything else Jake does after all the Tiger games this summer. And for those of you that don't watch the games and can't watch the games because of Bally's and Comcast and all of that, Jake gets you all caught up. All right, Lions are opening up rookie minicamp this weekend. They had some workouts today, and we'll have it all weekend long. By the way, Terrion Arnold will be wearing number 0 as a cornerback. Kind of interesting. He was out there today, and it's Rakestraw Jr., the big Manu kid, all of them there. Sione Vaki got his 4-year deal done. Dan Campbell is not with the team. It's first reported by Dave Burkett of the Free Press. He is not with the team right now due to personal reasons, but will return soon. Hoping for nothing but the best for the Lions head coach. The Lions did not disclose what's going on here, but not with the team right now due to personal reasons. Assistant GM Ray Agnew did meet with the media today. Brad Holmes' right-hand man. And a couple of interesting things came out of that meeting. You know, a lot of people are asking what the Lions are going to do with Giovanni Manu and also with Sione Vaki, the two guys that the Lions moved up to pick, in round 4 on day 3. As far as Giovanni Manu, first of all, he's going to be wearing number 59. And according to Manu himself, he said that the Lions like him at tackle, and he took all tackle reps during practice today. Ray Agnew said, quote, "What better place to come in and learn how to be an offensive tackle in the NFL than behind Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker? You've got time to team and then be coached by Hank Fraley." Agnew said they're going to cross-train him at both tackle and guard. That's the big fella, of course, from British Columbia, Canada. Now, as far as Sione Vaki is concerned, Lions traded up to get him. We knew they liked him. He played safety in college mostly, but then converted to running back and played some games for the Utah Utes at running back. What was interesting was what Agnew said today. Quote, "We see him as a running back. Our coaches will decide how to deal with him," end quote. Lions have more of a need at backup safety than they do at running back, where they currently have Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and come on, Craig Reynolds. But Agnew saying they see Vaki as a running back right now, hence why at the draft they announced him as a running back. I still think he's going to be more safety and special teams Because what if, knock on wood, if Melifonwu goes down or Kirby Joseph? Right now, the Lions are a little bit thin there. They just brought CJ Moore back. I think Brian Branch can play safety and will play some more safety this year due to the depth that's been added at cornerback. But I did find that kind of intriguing that Ray Agnew said, we see him as a running back. Brad Holmes watched all the tape. He saw what Manu and Vaki did when they moved him to running back, and immediately explosive plays, catches out of the backfield. He's a football player. They can play him really anywhere and everywhere. So it's kind of your rookie minicamp update right now, as that will go on throughout the weekend. A lot of fireworks on social media over the last couple of days. A lot of it due to Locked On Packers host and, quite honestly, Detroit Lions hater, Peter Bukowski. You're not going to want to miss this interview with Pete as I grill him and disagree with him when he says the Packers roster is better than the Lions. No, it's not. No, it's not. Packers roster is good. Got a good young team. Do they have a number one receiver like the Lions do? No. Is their quarterback as good as our quarterback? No. There's some spots on the defense the Lions are better, including linebacker. But we will get into that with Pete coming up next right here on a Friday edition of Locked On Lions. And folks, Locked On Lions is proudly sponsored to you by our friends at Yahoo Finance. And I'm going to make the screen bigger so I can tell you all about Yahoo Finance. Well, let me say this. I've been using Yahoo Finance. I did a long time ago and still do to this day, our sponsor today. Wouldn't it be great if you could see all of the investment and retirement accounts in one place? With Yahoo Finance, you can consolidate your views from multiple accounts into one hub and access the expert analysis you need to tend to your entire portfolio with confidence. It's just simple as a couple of clicks, and it's great. It's very organized. Get straight to the point. You want to grow your portfolio to deal with the rising costs of inflation, to pay off your debt or your mortgage, pretty much anything standing in the way of you and your financial freedom, right? With Yahoo Finance, you can get access to the news, data, and tools that you need in order to help reach your financial freedom. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or you're looking for that extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. With a community of over 90 million users each month, their real strength is helping you on your way to financial success. For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com. The number one financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That's yahoofinance.com. And what about our friends at eBay Motors? Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, too, your part's guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. All right, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. I was hesitant to put him on the air, but he's become Detroit's favorite whipping boy from Locked On Packers, Peter Bukowski. Pete, what's happening?
What is happening, Matt? I don't know. Is something happening?
What's wrong with you? You get on Twitter yesterday and you say, well, hold on, I'm going to get the tweet. At Peter_Bukowski. The Packers have a better roster than the Lions. Go make money on this.
I did say that.
Okay. I know you don't like the Lions. That's fine. I gave you a nice video last week. I said the Packers did a good job on the draft.
You did.
But the Packers are going to be there. They're going to be right there, but they don't have a better roster than the Lions. Come on, Pete.
Listen, so what I think a lot of, and this happens, right? And when we have these discussions, when someone says this is better than that, then that becomes trash. I don't think the Bears are bad. I don't think the Bears
have the Lions.
The Lions. What are we talking about?
You said the Bears.
Sorry, I'm so used to defending myself against Bears fans. But it's the same premise, right? I don't think the Lions are bad. The Bears will be fine. The Lions, I think, are a good team. This is not about me thinking the Lions are not going to be a good team. What I think is true is, and this started with the idea of pathways to success, right? I thought the Packers had some clear holes in the offseason.
Okay.
And I thought they went out and they added linebacker, safety. That was a clear issue for them, and they fixed it. Well, they didn't fix it, but they put together answers. Whether or not those are good answers, we don't know, right?
Yes.
The Lions, to me, there were 3 questions heading into the offseason. What's happening at corner? Did they find a secondary pass rusher? And do they have another receiver other than Amon-Ra St. Brown? I understand Sam Laporta, but he's a tight end. It's a kind of a different thing. So,
okay.
The Lions poured resources into the corner position. Love that.
Yeah.
I like what they did at corner. I love Ennis Rakestraw Jr.
Right.
I love Terry Arnold. I was, I think, a little annoyed that the Lions went up and jumped the Packers for Terry Arnold, someone I think Green Bay really, really liked.
Yes.
So that's great. But they have these clear flaws to me at what I think are premium positions. Like, I don't think they have a secondary pass rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And that manifested itself in important ways last year, Matt. And you saw it. And I think the same is true with receiver. Josh Reynolds was low-key a really important part of this team. And I don't think Donovan Peoples-Jones is a capable replacement. I don't think Khalif Raymond is a capable replacement. Those guys are NFL players, but they're not
as good as Reynolds. Okay.
Right. And so where was the effort to improve there, which makes the draft, to me, like trading a future pick for a Canadian tackle like that. Some of those things, like Brad Holmes can feel himself a little bit. I think he's a good GM, but I think he can feel himself a little bit and big brain it and go, I'm smarter than everyone. So this is what we're going to do.
All right. So let's just get it out there, Lions fans, everybody that's watching here on Locked On Lions and listening. Peter is propping up and promoting the corner moves, which is,
I like it.
Give him credit for.
This is a playoff team. This is a playoff team, unequivocally a playoff team.
Okay. So as far as your other arguments, on the defensive line, yes, Marcus Davenport is a risk, because if he's hurt again, you're right. You're going back to a lot of the same. Now, again, they didn't have James Houston for most of last year. I think getting DJ Reader really upgrades the D-line.
I like that. I like
and
that
moves
move.
Pascal and Kaminsky maybe to the outside. Now, Kaminsky was not great last year. Kaminsky had the greatest game he ever played against the Packers, by the way, in Week 18.
Oh, the greatest game like anyone has ever played. He was unbelievable in that game.
And I think Pascal is capable, but I'm with you. I agree with you that I think another edge rusher would not be bad. I don't know if they're interested in Emmanuel Ogbah or somebody like that they could get a June 1 cut. We'll see.
Why were they not in on someone like Jadeveon Clowney? Like, why would that not have made sense?
Because Jadeveon Clowney's a jerk, and they're on the no jerk policy in the locker room. Now, the receiver thing's interesting. You and I will argue this because I'm as sure you're telling me you're going to say the Packers receiver room is better than the Lions, right?
I will tell you that it is definitely deeper than the Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown is awesome. Like,
he's the best of the lot. If you put them all in a room, right, he's the best.
But I think like the next 5 guys are Packers.
5?
Yeah.
You would take Melton over Jameson Williams?
Okay, not Melton. I think at least the next 3 are Packers to me. Jameson Williams.
I'm bringing you down from 5 to 3.
Well, Jameson Williams, I don't know what to make. Matt, what do we make of Jameson Williams? Because
no one has bashed him more than me.
What does he have? 25 career catches?
It's time.
He has 3 more touchdowns in his career than you and I.
No, it's time. It's time for him to step up. And when the ball's in the air on a deep pass, it can't hit him in the helmet anymore. You're right. But I also think
he should be playing defensive back for the Lions if that's what's going to happen.
I think you think Dontayvion Wicks is like Jerry Rice.
I think Dontayvion Wicks is better than any non-Amon-Ra St. Brown receiver on the Lions roster.
Dontayvion, I messed it up, and I know your listeners are going to be all over me because I messed up the athletic writer's name last year and got destroyed.
Oh, Matt Schneidman?
Yeah. I called him Schneiderman, and everybody jumped.
That was funny.
It was funny. But I think the best receiver is Amon-Ra. All right.
Easily.
Christian Watson, who I followed very closely because he was on my fantasy team last year. When that guy's healthy, he's awesome. But like he was
awesome against the Lions.
Barely played last year. Like I'm ready for him to have a breakout consistent year. I would actually take the Packer receiving core as a whole, like you said.
But wouldn't you take Watson? What Watson has done already is more impressive than anything Jameson Williams has done.
Yes. Yeah, not arguing that. I agree with you. But I do think Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to be better than people think. Antoine Green, a 7th round pick, just didn't get opportunities. I think could be equal to what Melton did last year.
Okay.
Dobbs scares the hell out of me. I think he's awesome. I'm a fan. And I think Watson, when healthy, is going to be good. I mean, but like, to me, the quarterback's better in Detroit, right?
No.
Come on, Pete. He played in a Super Bowl and he's been in 2 NFC championship games.
Okay.
He's better. Jordan Love's better than Jared Goff right now. Jordan Love's good. Better than Goff?
I think they're both top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC. But for this year, I'd rather have Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love in the second half last year is better than we've ever seen Jared Goff play. Now, I understand we're extrapolating a little bit on a small sample size.
Yeah.
But we're also talking about someone who's 25 years old versus Jared Goff. We know what the flaws are. We saw Jared Goff in the second half have games where his inability to protect the ball basically single-handedly sunk the Lions. It happened against the Bears. It happened against the Packers.
A couple of games. I wouldn't go that.
But I'm saying there were a couple games. That's what I said. There were a couple games. And by the way, I thought he played well in the playoffs.
What about the games at the start of last year where Jordan Love, where you had national prognosticators, not you, because you always defended him, but national people week 4 and 5 going, this is probably not the guy. Adam Shine said this is not the guy. Now, he was wrong. He is the guy. But I think
Adam Shine, our Syracuse guy, he was wrong about Jordan Love.
Very.
But
what about running back? The Packers have better running backs?
No.
Thank you.
No.
Tight end?
So I really like Sam Laporta. I would have said in the middle of last year, I would have said unequivocally the Lions. But then in the second half, Tucker Kraft was really, really good. And you had Luke Musgrave. So the number 1 best passer rating throwing to a tight end last year was Luke Musgrave. And the number 1 yards after catch tight end in the league was Tucker Kraft. So you combine those two guys, they had about 150 fewer yards than Sam Laporta on 40 fewer targets. So if you had given those guys the volume that Sam Laporta got, how would that have changed? Now, I think you earned targets, Matt. I think you earn targets. Yeah, and so like there is a value difference there.
All pro tight end. Brock,
I get it.
Good number 2.
I get it.
What about offensive line? Don't tell me offensive line.
So,
oh no.
The Lions, no, hear me out. The Lions have a better run blocking offensive line, no question. Like that is clear. But when you look at last year, pass block win rate, the Packers were 2nd in the league behind only the Eagles, I believe. They were better than the Lions in pass protection.
You are really digging deep here.
And listen, Jordan Love was under pressure on 19% of his dropbacks. Jared Goff was under pressure on 29% of his dropbacks. And this was an offense designed to avoid pressure at all costs because that is his kryptonite. When Jared Goff gets pressured, that has always been the way to beat him. And the Packers did a better job protecting Jordan Love. I think they're pretty even. I think those are pretty even.
I mean, if you want to go by PFF, they have the Lions number 2. The Packers are number 11. That's a pretty wide gap. And
if you do just pass block, like Ben Baldwin puts together the combination of Sports Info and Solutions tracking data and the pass block
Ben fan. Stuff. I like Ben.
If you put those together, last year the Packers were the number 2 offensive line in the league in terms of pass protection. So to me, pass protection means more. And so, like I said, I think this is pretty even. I don't think it's clear one is better than the other.
You are a good lawyer. You should have been a lawyer. You should have gone to what's the name of the law school?
I took the LSAT twice.
Did you?
Yeah.
Isn't there a law school at Syracuse? Like that David Falk is the business.
Nope, there is a law school. Joe Biden is a graduate of Syracuse Law School.
There you go.
He was my commencement speaker.
You're good. All right. Can I give you one? Can I give you one that I agree with you on? And that's defensive line. If we're just doing line as a whole, I'll give that to Green Bay. I'm a big Rashawn Gary fan. Always like Kenny Clark. Linebackers, Quay Walker's terrible. Don't even go there.
Quay Walker's bad. No, Quay Walker's bad.
Thank you. So you'll give the Lions the linebackers?
Yeah, but ironically, not because of Jack Campbell, who I also thought was bad last year.
Of the 4 guys in the Brad Holmes greatest draft ever, he was the least of the most.
He was clearly the least of the group,
but he's good.
And I think by far the most head scratching. But I understand the idea. It's the same way the Packers draft linebackers. Like they drafted Jack Campbell for the same reason the Packers drafted Quay Walker, and the same reason they drafted Edgerrin Cooper. So I can't from a Brian Gutekunst covered house throw stones because, you know, like I live in that house from the Packers standpoint too. But I think the interesting question is, how do you do the safety room now?
Hold on. Can I do BetterHelp first and tell people that
yeah, please do.
After listening to you and I,
I mean, I need it right now.
All right. More with Peter Bukowski, host of Locked On Packers, a very entertaining Friday show coming up next. All right, we teased it before. Our friends at BetterHelp. If you need therapy, you want to talk to somebody, Peter just admitted to that. Locked On Lions today is brought to us by our sponsor, BetterHelp, because BetterHelp is just awesome. It's right there online. It's easy for you to access therapists. And the great thing is you can switch therapists for no additional cost at BetterHelp. The great thing is we need an opportunity to get something off our chest. Big, small, certain things can really start to get to you. It's important you let that out. Talk to somebody, especially somebody who is unbiased on your life and straight down the middle and neutral. Therapy can be different for everybody. Most of us have bigger problems than our favorite sports team or who has the better roster. And it's important to get things off your chest every once in a while. So if you think about starting up therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible and suited to your schedule. Visit BetterHelp.com/lockedon to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. The great Peter Bukowski with us from Locked On Packers, Detroit's #1 target right now in town. Apparently, the Twitter machine is just a buzz. I went through your feed, Pete, and got a little nasty.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
please,
we did the get something off our chest ad read. So let me do that quick, and I didn't prep you on this.
But
I, in the heat of the moment, made a joke that was very insensitive on Twitter, and I deleted
the water
it.
Joke.
Yes, and
okay.
It was in really poor taste. I immediately regretted it and hoped that I should have deleted it immediately. And I hoped that no one would see it, and they didn't. And it's just a unfortunate situation. And so I wanted to apologize to everyone, to you, because it reflects on you. And I genuinely feel really bad about it. And I'm sorry. So I just wanted to say that I'm sorry to like bring the energy down, but I just felt that was important to say.
Thank you for doing that. I had a little bit of an internet issue there, but we got you, and the apology is accepted. I mean, look, we all screw up. I mean, and again, you're going back and forth with our fans and everything else, and we joke around, and I appreciate you copping to that for sure. All right, you did bring it down, but that's a good thing. Now, safeties, you said, I really like that McKinney pickup for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Lions safeties, but I think that's as even a group as you know, if you want to go straight down the middle.
What position does Brian Branch play? That's the question.
That is a question, because I think this year they're going to have him everywhere. I think they're going to have him a nickel corner, slot corner. He's going to play some safety. Melifonu's on his way up, playing well. Kirby Joseph is a Packer killer.
Oh my God.
After that,
he's an Aaron Rodgers killer. He was an Aaron Rodgers killer. We don't know if he's a Packers killer right now.
But I'm not sure on depth after that. I mean, they brought CJ Moore back after the gambling suspension. I'd like Vaki is a guy I know you were kind of making fun of last week. He's going to play everywhere. But I do like the McKinney
only because
signing.
they announced him as a running back. I just thought that was really funny. He's on the Our Lads depth chart as a running back. Do we know yet? Do we have any insight yet on where they're going to play him?
No, I think he's going to be everywhere. I really do. It's hard for him to get on
I would like to have more of those guys.
Well, you know, that's what the Lions would love to have. You're right. But what about Bullard? I'm a Bullard fan. I like that draft pick a lot for you guys.
It's hard to know what to make of any of these draft picks, right? Like, we just don't know. But this was part of the pathway idea, right? Like, the Packers had a safety problem. They go out and they sign Xavier McKinney, who was one of the best safeties in the league last year. He's a perfect fit for Jeff Hafley's new defense. And they go out and they spend 3 draft picks at safety. Like, it starts with Javon Bullard, who I love. We'll see if he plays in the slot some. I think he can play deep. He can play everywhere. Evan Williams from Oregon. We just had Jim Nagy on the show from the Senior Bowl, and he was saying, like, look, the Packers, that was dubbed a reach. And he was like, look, I knew multiple teams early on day 3 really wanted to draft him. They really, really liked him. He's a team captain at Fresno State, transferred to Oregon. And then Keaton Oladapo is an Oregon State kid. Could be a dime linebacker. They just threw resources at that. And so I think they're hoping, Matt, is one of those guys turns into a player. And we'll see. It's interesting that they passed on Brian Branch last year and they drafted Javon Bullard, who's got a lot of the same sorts of qualities, played a somewhat similar role in, a Nick Saban defense versus a Kirby Smart defense. We know there's some overlap there. So that could be a sort of like, hey, we have some regrets about not going and getting Brian Branch. And went and got the best guy that they had there this year. But they also traded down, and that trade down netted them Jaden Reed, Carl Brooks, and Dontavian Wicks. It's a trade I think that they would make again. So it worked out both for one of those rare both teams won the trade kind of situations.
And then corner, look, I would have told you Packers before free agency and the draft. Now I like the depth that the Lions have,
I do too. It's like, I wish I knew who was going to do what and where, right? Like, I don't know how that part of it's going to shake out. I also think that, and I said this on my show the other day, that the best chance for the Packers to make a run is this year, because you've got Caleb Williams. The worst he's going to play is probably this year, right? JJ McCarthy, the worst he's going to play is this year. And then these corners, that was the biggest thing this offseason that the Lions needed to fix, was this cornerback room. And Terran Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw, they're the worst that they're going to play is as rookies. Most rookie corners are bad, even if they turn into good players. So the Packers are going to have to take advantage of that now if they can, because the Lions can't have Kindle Vildor out there again. That's just not going to work.
No.
And so,
and they won't.
Right.
I mean,
Emmanuel Mosley, if I knew he was going to stay healthy, I'd be excited about that. But is he gonna? I don't know.
That's a good question. What's up with Jair these days? Happy, sad?
He is apparently locked in. They're really happy with what's going on there. He's been really excited about getting with Xavier McKinney and some of these young guys. Has been apparently a delight through the offseason process. I think, unfortunately, moving on from Joe Barry cured a lot of ills. And I say that unfortunately sort of tongue in cheek, because you don't like to have someone losing their job be the positive, be the proponent of that. But I think that's what happened. I think he really just hated the defense and felt like he was not being treated like a star corner, which is what he is. And so I think Jeff Hafley is going to let him play a lot more man coverage. I think that he's going to get to freelance a little bit more. And I think that he's going to have a really good season. I'm really excited to see what they're able to do this year. That room that's the question to me. That's the biggest question. If you told me at the end of the year, the Lions wound up being better than the Packers, I would tell you that the most likely reason was the Packers cornerback room, that Eric Stokes couldn't stay healthy, that Carrington Valentine did not take a step forward, and that Terrion Arnold did a Pat Surtain, that he just walked in the room as an alpha. If that would be the way that I would view that. And so that's why this is interesting for me, because I feel like if I'm the Packers, I think the best coach of these two teams is Matt LaFleur. I know Dan Campbell, culture wise, I tease you about it a lot. I know, but I've been so impressed.
He's good. He's good.
I do. And I love the aggressiveness. I've been so impressed with the culture. I do think Ben Johnson's doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that offense.
That's okay.
and quarterback. I think Jordan Love is better than Jared Goff this year, and moving forward. So that's a lot of is where I just okay, those are the two most important things. And so that's how I feel about it. But I also think that there's so many places. I know the Lions are really young too, but where the Packers, Dontavian Wicks could be a wide receiver 1, but so could Jaden Reed, but so could Christian Watson. That doesn't exist in Detroit. Even if I think Sam Laporta is awesome, even if I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is awesome.
But they all could be wide receiver 1s. They're not. And
Amon-Ra you're right.
Right now, Amon-Ra is number 1. So
you're right. Well, I think it's close. Let me say that. Again, this goes back to my original point. On these rosters, I think these two teams are really close. I hope we get, and you and I joke about this every year, I hope we get week 18.
I do too. I hope Wednesday. To be honest, I hope Wednesday when they announce it that is week 18. I don't care where it is.
It's been the last week of the year for 10 straight years. It seems like,
and obviously it wasn't last year, but Lambeau to me, I mean, and I had Bradford Banta on the show yesterday, former Lion, who said, we always look at the schedule to see when we play in Green Bay. That's the first thing we look at, because if you play them in September, it's not as cold and it's not as daunting. And so, no, Packers, I agree. I mean, these are the two teams top of the division. I know there's gonna be some people, and our buddy Lauren with doing the Bears show, that are all high. I'm pumping the brakes a little bit on them winning double-digit games, like some people.
Some people are saying playoffs, and I'm just like, can we chill a little?
I know. All right, buddy, you were great as always, and
thanks, Matt.
I love the folks on Twitter. They can see you and listen to you and know that you're not this evil person, but you're wrong on a lot of things, though.
Thanks, Matt. I always appreciate it, man. You're the best.
There he is. There he is, folks. Peter Bukowski, right here on Locked On Lions. You heard some of his arguments. Jared Goff, not as good as Jordan Love. Jordan Love looked great last year at the end of the year. Jordan Love won a road playoff game in Dallas, nearly won in San Francisco. Is he as good as Jared Goff? Has he been to a Super Bowl or taken the team to an NFC Championship game yet? No. This offensive line argument that Pete makes for DVOA and EPA and pass block win rate, please. I'll take Taylor Decker over there, rookie left tackle. I'll take Penei Sewell over there, right tackle. I mean, come on. We can go on and on this, but give Pete credit. He likes his Packer team, and he's getting into it with you guys, that's for sure, on the old Twitter machine. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcast. And thanks, by the way, to Pete for owning the mistake he made on Twitter the other day with a joke about Michigan water, and he apologized. So I hope all of you accept that. We all make mistakes. I've made plenty of them, and he apologized for it. So that was great. All right, we are back again next week with a full menu and buffet of Locked On Lions. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day.